Welcome back. You're watching Live from Paris on France 24. It's time now for Media Watch France, when we find out the top stories doing the rounds in the French press and on the internet. Rebecca Bowring is here for that tonight. Hi there, Rebecca. Good to have you with us. Now, of course, the election now just a few months away, and the candidates have been ramping up their campaigns, many of them saying "Buy French" as their attempt to win over voters. How's that going down?
Well, that is the new campaign buzzword, it seems. Or it doesn't matter which party you're from, you're hooking onto this and you're flying with it. So we've got François Hollande. If we look here at the foursome in this article from L'Express, François Hollande, of course, from the socialist incumbent president Nicolas Sarkozy. You can see in the bottom right corner. You have far-right leader Marine Le Pen that you mentioned earlier, and the centrist François Bayrou from Modem. And all four of them have got different takes on this, but they're basically going along the Buy French avenue. They tag it as national patriotism, protectionism, anti-globalization. The idea is that they're trying to find their way out, of course, of a huge economic crisis. We've got unemployment at 12% here in France, and polls show that it's the main concern of French people as they go into these elections. So the idea is economic solidarity. So how are they going about that? Well, they've all got slightly different takes on it. François Hollande's campaign has always been based actually on trying to boost employment and industry. So of course it was a natural progression for him. Marine Le Pen here is saying that she believes that we should have stronger regulation when it comes to customs to sort of keep export out and to help boost
she wants
industry.
France out of the EU altogether, doesn't she?
She certainly does. She certainly does. So she's looking inward. And then François Bayrou is saying that the way to combat this problem is to make the image of France, the brand image of France, a little bit more sexy. And here we see in this article from the Libération newspaper on their website that Nicolas Sarkozy from the UMP party, he prefers the slogan "made or produced in France" to "buy French." And he says, "I prefer you to buy a foreign brand car that's made in France than a French car, well, obviously assembled in France using French workers, than a French car brand that's manufactured abroad." So that's his slightly different take on it. A poll last month showed that 50% of French people would be up for paying more if they knew that the product was made in France. So maybe they're onto a good thing.
All right, well, we don't know how it's going to go down with the voters, but journalists here in France are cynical, aren't they? And some of them say it's just a lot of hot air.
That's right. Laurent Pinsol, let's take a look at this article on Marianne, is saying basically it's le grand bluff. I think that works quite well in English. It's all style over substance. And he's basically saying that most of the candidates who are putting forward these proposals haven't got anything to back it up with. They don't really know what policies they would implement. He also sort of tears a strip off Bayrou, saying that he has a tendency to blame the French people who don't buy French, so sort of putting the blame at their door as opposed to encouraging a positive discourse on this.
All right, and Bayrou's come under fire again, hasn't he, over his choice of transport?
He certainly has. It links into this same story.
He's not driving a German car, is he?
Absolutely was. Well, actually, we've got to make it clear, he wasn't the one driving. He was at a meeting in Pau, in the Pyrenees, and he was there saying that basically French people are just brainwashed with advertising buy German, when they should be, especially cars, when France has quite an illustrious automobile industry of its own. So this article is pointing out that the problem was the journalists stuck around at the end of this interview and they wanted to see him leave. And what did he roar off in? But an Audi, which is, of course, a German car.
Not a French car. Not a Citroën.
It didn't go down too well.
And he's come back, though, hasn't he, on Twitter? He won't be defeated.
Play on Twitter. He says on Audi Batu, which is using the word Audi, which means they didn't actually tell you everything, the whole story. This car was a friend's car, and he says, "Do I have to change my friend? Do I have to get my friend to change his car? Maybe we should just laugh about it." But in the regional newspaper Le Pays, he sought to put the record straight and says actually he drives a Peugeot 3008 and was one of the first people to buy it, and his sister has a Citroën Picasso. So basically, it's in the family. Buy French is in the family, but maybe he needs to be a little more careful about his image clangers in the future.
All right, absolutely. All right, now Marine Le Pen, talking about image, she's on the warpath, isn't she, about a new film that she says is not good for her image at all. Trouble is, she hasn't actually seen it, has she?
No, that's right. Talking about her image, we can take a look at this photo of her and her dad. It's a bit of an old one. This is a new documentary, Marine Le Pen, Story of an Heiress, because, of course, she took over leadership of the party, the National Front Party, from her dad. And this particular documentary will go out on Thursday on France 2, and it's the work of Caroline Forest, and she wrote a book which Marine Le Pen obviously knows all about, because she got her lawyers, even before seeing a single shot of this documentary, to write a letter to the president of France Télévisions saying that she's not happy about it, and obviously she's used to sort of savaging in the press, so she's used to being quite on the defensive immediately. And this is not the first time, in fact, that she's had a face-off with the journalist in question. We can just quickly show you a clip of the two of them on the set of Des Paroles, Des Actes, which is Words and Actions, a France 2 programme which aired a couple of months ago.
Well, there's a lovely picture, and on it's written Marine Le Pen, so we don't know it's attacking me. This book is a low-down string of lies, mix-ups, defamations and abuse.
So Marine Le Pen wasn't mincing her words there, and I expect we can see more preemptive action on the part of the National Front as the election fever hots up.
All right, good stuff. Rebecca Bowring, many thanks indeed. Thank you. Well, we're going to take a look now what else is making waves on the web, including yet more amateur footage from Syria on the day the UN said at least 5,000 people have now been killed in the crackdown. Here's today's web news.